This was not the Anakin Skywalker that we know, and it might shock you who this actually might be. In episode 4 of Ahsoka, we finally see the return of Anakin Skywalker, and he appears right in front of Ahsoka's eyes. Now, for those that don't know, after Ahsoka lost the duel against Baylan Skoll, she ends up in this realm that is known as the World Between Worlds. This world is a realm that connects all of time and space. It links moments from the past, the present, and the future, all together in one. In this realm, there are many different portals and doors where you can see events that have happened in the Star Wars timeline. Dave Filoni has mentioned that this place is not for time travel, but more for the purpose of knowledge that can either be used for good or destruction. The choice is really up to the user. In Star Wars Rebels, Ezra Bridger once saw Ahsoka in one of these portals and actually pulled her from out of her fight against Darth Vader in order to save her life. So Ahsoka is familiar with this place and has been here before. So now that we know that, let's get back to Anakin. One of the main confusions people had was, why did Anakin look like this? His robes and tunic was the same color as what he wore in Revenge of the Sith. Now, this is very unusual considering that after Return of the Jedi, he had lighter color robes rather than his usual darker robes. Not only this, but fans also noticed how off his lightsaber was. I mean, look at it. That does not look like Anakin's lightsaber, nor in my opinion does it look like Darth Vader's. This looks like a whole different type of lightsaber, and it kind of reminds me of Qui-Gon's saber if anything. Not only this, but if you watch Ahsoka with subtitles on, you'll notice at the end of the credits Vader's theme is playing. So why is this happening? Because what we're looking at is no longer Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker, nor is this Darth Vader. We're looking at someone who is the balance of both. Anakin is now the father of the Force.
You must see it now. I am dying, and you must replace me.
Now, you may ask, what do I mean by this? Well, if you don't know, the Mortis Gods were also known as the Ones. They were powerful Force wielders who lived on the planet of Mortis. This family consisted of the daughter who aligned with the light side of the Force, the son who aligned with the dark side of the Force, and the father who was a balance between the two. In the Clone Wars, Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka unintentionally go into somewhere in wild space where it takes them to the planet Mortis. This is where these three gods lived. The Mortis Gods called to Anakin because they believed he was the chosen one. The father explains this to Anakin and puts him through multiple tests to determine this, and well, surprise surprise, Anakin passed all of them. But by the end of their time there, all three of the Mortis Gods ended up dying. However, during these events, Ahsoka had died as well. The daughter decided to pass on her remaining life force to Ahsoka so she can end up reviving her. This action ended the daughter's life, but after this, a convoy bird named Morai began to follow Ahsoka everywhere, and she became her guardian in a way. Now this bird was very special because it had spiritual ties to the daughter, so in a way, even after she died, she was always still with Ahsoka. As for Anakin, as you saw in the clip from earlier, the father informed him that he's the chosen one, and one day he would replace him as the father. So this is how Anakin is able to project his appearance like this to Ahsoka. He's appearing of how he looked when Ahsoka last saw him. You may ask, well, how could he do this? Because of this line right here.
We can take many forms. The shapes we embody are merely a reflection of the life force around us.
This implying that these gods can take different shapes and forms, and that is exactly what Anakin did when seeing Ahsoka again. Now remember, the father was a balance of both the light and the dark. So this is somebody who understands both sides. A Jedi would not understand the dark, and a Sith would not understand the light. But Anakin, he would understand both. He's been on both sides. When they were on Mortis, the father told Anakin that he was way more than just a Sith or a Jedi, but instead he was the chosen one. And I think what we're starting to learn here is that the chosen one is not based on balance of the time period, such as the Republic or the Empire, but instead of the entire Force, which includes the other galaxies. So with Anakin now as the father, his prophecy would then be finally fulfilled. I really think in episode 5, Anakin will show Ahsoka that she could not have done anything to prevent his turn to the dark side, and she should not feel guilty for this. Instead, she should embrace it, because it allowed him to not only redeem himself in saving Luke, but by saving the galaxy, and now being able to fully understand both sides of the Force. I think they'll take a trip down memory lane, and he'll show her different portals and different scenarios that happened. Maybe Mustafar, maybe when he stormed the temple. And then after this, I believe Anakin will give her one final lesson by teaching her a lot about the cosmic force. And this would allow her to go back to the world of the living as Ahsoka the White. I believe after her time with Anakin, she'll return to the normal world even more powerful than before as well. It will allow her to right her wrongs with Sabine, and her time with Anakin will make her have a different mindset on things moving forward. I also believe that with the daughter basically living in Ahsoka, this could lead to a chance that Ahsoka could end up being the daughter. I do touch on this in the video above if you want to learn more about that. So by putting the pieces all together for this, I really think this could happen. And the more I think about it, the more excited I get for the possibilities of episode 5. What do you think? Do you think this theory could end up being true, or are you leaning towards something else happening? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you always.